the only way I know of that you can attain actual, tangible spiritual realization. It's the only thing that worked for me. Any more questions?
Yes, and there's a question from Tiago. Babaji, what do you think made your god brothers stop following the devotional life? I imagine they were all sure about this path at the time of initiation. Oh, sorry, I had the mic turned off. Let me repeat the question.
Oops.
Sorry, the mic was turned off. Question from Tiago. What made your god brothers stop following the devotional life? I imagine they all were sure about this path at the time of initiation.
Maybe, but what were they sure about? Were they sure about the nature of pure devotional service? Ahaitukī-apratihata, unmotivated and uninterrupted? Or were they thinking, oh, well, we'll do this service as long as ISKCON takes care of us. And if ISKCON doesn't take care of us, then, we won't do it anymore. To me, it seems like they were thinking the latter. They were thinking, well, as long as we have a place to stay, free food, nice place to do kirtan and all like that, as long as it's convenient, then we'll do this service. But if ISKCON falls apart and we all get kicked out and our little false egos get all bruised, then we'll just drop it and we'll go back to the way we were before. See, that's what happened. But then there were a few of us who said, no, wait a minute. I'm not going to let this stop me. I'm not going to let this discourage me. Somehow or other, I'm going to pull out of this. And I'm going to go on with my service. I'm going to go on with my spiritual life. I'm going to continue to do my service and preach and please Srila Prabhupada. And even if I die in the attempt, at least I kept up my integrity. I kept my promise. How can we expect Krishna to keep his promise or to keep Prabhupada's promise if we don't keep our side of the promise? See? That's why the name of this is the eternal promise. Because if our promise was really spiritual, then it will be eternal and unconditional. Ahaitukī-apratihata, unmotivated and uninterrupted. That is the qualification of anything eternal. If I'm motivated, that means my service is conditional. Hey, well, as long as it's really cool to be a devotee and I get free room and board, then I'll be some kind of devotee. But if it's like people are insulting me and people are criticizing me and people are discouraging me and I don't get my free room and board and I have to do something, I have to work for a living and then I have to associate with all these karmis and blah, 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 then, it's too much trouble to be a devotee, just forget it. That's what my godbrothers went through. So I don't think they were actually sincere. I don't think they were actually making a promise to do pure devotional service. I don't think they were making a promise to do uninterrupted, unmotivated devotional service. I think they were doing conditional devotional service. There's a term for that. I went over it the other day. It's called sopadika bhakti. Sopadika means conditional devotional service. I'll do devotional service as long as this condition and that condition and this other condition and so on and so forth. And if those conditions aren't there, then I won't do it. This is conditional devotional service. See? So as long as everybody is nice to me, and as long as I get my prasadam every day on time, and so on and so forth, then I'll be a devotee, no problem. But if it starts to be, too much inconvenience or too much pain or too much difficulty, then, well, maybe I'll just drop it, There's a time in every devotee's life when Krishna decides to see what he is made out of and tests the devotee. You see? I went through, the whole time I was in ISKCON, basically, I was in Saturn period. And I have a really bad Saturn placement in my chart. So I suffered like anything. It was horrible. But I still didn't leave. You know, I kept up my service. And then even afterwards, when finally it just became impossible to stay in ISKCON anymore, I still continued my service. At least I was writing books and I was doing other things, planning that someday in the future I'm going to preach. And then finally I got through all my negative feelings about being a devotee and stuff like that. And I got to the point where I could actually start preaching again. You know, and then I got the opportunity to just leave everything and go to be a full-time devotee again. And I did it. You know, and I didn't look back. I never wavered from that. It's not like I ever sat down and said, no, this is too hard. No, I'm going to go back to being just a slave in somebody's factory. You know, I never did that. So, you know, to me, when people whine and complain and they ask, you know, well, Babaji, can't you fix this for us, you know, or can't you do this for us, without offering any solution or any help, then I have to wonder, are they really sincere? You know? What are they going to say when times get really rough? Oh, it's too hard to be a devotee, forget this. Let's just go back to being enjoyers, you know, piling up karma in the material world. I don't want those kind of students. I don't want those kind of followers. It's better that they leave. It's better that they go away now. Because then that's just less hassle and less heartache and less difficulty for those who really are sincere. See? If you really want to be my disciple or my student, if you really want to take initiation from me, then you have to follow the same example. That you have to keep going even when it's tough, even, you know, in the face of impending death. You know, I had a heart attack in an ISKCON temple in Bombay in 1980, what was it, 86 or 87. You know, I had a near-death experience. I left my body. I went to the spiritual world. And Krishna, Lord Jagannath, was there. And he told me, oh, you have to go back. And I said, no, I don't want to go back. I want to stay here. And he said, but I have so much more service for you to do. So what could I say? I had to go back, even though my body was all messed up and it was really, you know, a lot of trouble. So if Krishna wants us to do service, then what's holding us back? Why are we stopping? Why are we trying to get other people to do service for us? No, we should do service for them. See? That's what Krishna wants. Krishna wants us to serve our spiritual master. He wants us to serve the other people in our life, you know? Maybe not, you know, until it hurts us, you know? But sometimes it might happen. We have to be ready for that. We have to be ready to make that sacrifice. Ideally, devotional service should be a joy, you know, and it should be wonderful. But sometimes there are problems, and those aren't always our fault, you know. But that doesn't mean we should give up our service just because it's not convenient or easy. No. Because that's what makes the difference between the people who don't make it, who fall down, and the people who do make it, get all the way to pure devotional service, complete self-realization. Is that they don't give up. So you don't give up either. Is there another question?
Question from Tiago. Oh, where was it? I'm pretty sure I want to serve Krishna. How can I be of help being neophyte? I'm not sure the best way to help Krishna and you at this stage.
Well, our objective right now is to establish a monastic community in a safe place in India. So what we need right now is for people to invest in this community, to help us get it off the ground, to get it going. And then we need people to come